Alex, what else have you got?
A little bit of reports emerging about Alex Scott. Very talented young player. You remember I went down to Portsmouth to watch him play for Bristol City in a friendly at the weekend. Suggestions that Bournemouth have, quotes, re-entered negotiations. As far as I understand it, Bournemouth have never left the negotiating table. Alex Scott has been someone who's been on their radar since the January transfer window. They had a bid rejected a month or so ago worth £15 million plus add-ons. Bristol City are asking for £25 million. Wolves at one stage showed a lot of interest in Alex Scott. I've been told this morning by sources close to Wolves they're not in a position to sign anybody at this moment in time, which might worry Wolves fans, let alone a player for £25 million. If he goes anywhere, I think it will be Bournemouth, but I think there's still some work to be done on the deal.
Okay. When are Liverpool going to walk away from this Lavia thing?
I don't know if they will walk away. I mean,
where are we at with it?
It always makes me suspicious, and I've been doing this job long enough, that when a new name suddenly emerges, as it did yesterday with a Brazilian player, Andre, I think his name was, that's clearly a negotiating tactic from Liverpool. Let's get this name out there. Let's make it clear to Southampton it's not Romeo Lavia or nobody. But they bid up to £40 million. Southampton want 50 again. For a club of Liverpool's stature, that doesn't seem a massive gap. And I think this lad, Danny, is going to be a really talented Premier League player, Romeo Lavia. I think £50 million is a fair price.
Yeah, I like him. But I think there has to be a cut-off. I mean, City got rid of him for a reason.
They got a buyback option, though.
They got a buyback option, yeah. But I'm still thinking, he's good athletic player. He's decent on the ball. Looks comfortable, ahead of his years in many ways. But 50, when you start going past 50 million, I'm not sure. I think that's a fair price for the lad.
You've got to be a bit special to go past that.
There's that many talented players out there, Jim. Although he's a good age, and he's got a lot of attributes that Klopp likes, more than 50, I'd probably walk.
Would he improve them, Danny?
Oh, they need players like him. They definitely need. He's got that great awareness of danger, really good at mopping up and spotting danger and discipline in that holding role. And he can play. He's not just physically good. He can play a bit, but 50 million plus. All of a sudden,
I think 50 would get him.
But I think they've turned it down. I heard this morning.
No, the latest offer was below £50 million.
Okay.
I think they're going to get him.
I think if they get, I think 50 would be. If I was Liverpool, I'd get to 50 and onto pastures new.
Especially bearing in mind there is a suspicion that if Chelsea don't get Caicedo and no real movement in that respect, then they could well try and come in, and then Southampton's position is clearly strengthened. João Cancelo, this is a weird one. Manchester City's best player, arguably, 2 seasons ago. Obviously fell out with Pep Guardiola, went on loan to Bayern Munich, didn't work out for him there. Barcelona, we understand at talkSPORT, are now in talks with Manchester City about João Cancelo. That could be another senior player leaving the treble winners.
Crazy, isn't it? Any latest? A number of people asking. Ask Alex, Jim. Any latest in David Raya?
No real development. I mean, it was reported yesterday that personal terms wouldn't be a problem. Personal terms are never a problem in modern transfers because clubs don't go as far now, Danny, as making offers for players unless that's pretty much signed and sealed.
Yeah.
So clearly he's open to the move. Be fascinating to see how that dynamic would work with Aaron Ramsdale. But again, I don't see Arsenal paying £40 million.
Roy Hodgson, meantime, Dan, you know Roy very, very well, in the US with Crystal Palace. He's saying that they've got a fight in their hands to keep OLISE. So we know that Will Zaha is now in Turkey with Galatasaray. Roy says, clubs circling around OLISE, we're going to have a fight in our hands to make sure he stays with us. If they lose him, got a problem, haven't they?
Chelsea really keen.
Depends on recruitment. Chelsea need another winger, don't they? Am I ridiculous? Honestly, it's beyond ridiculous. Elise is a super talent, but if your recruitment's good, there's a lot of super talented wingers out there. You just got to keep finding diamonds in the rough if you're Crystal Palace. The best one they've got is Eze. He's the superstar in the making.
Interesting, though. It was suggested to me, I've not ran this story yet, I was going to do it in my notebook later in the week, that there's a contract offer on the table for Eze, but he's not particularly keen on signing it at this moment in time. So that could be another player that maybe
really
has suitors.
Well, Roy's saying, as far as Elise is concerned, Danny, and in general terms, there's a bit of work for the chairman and sporting director to do between now and the end of August.
Absolutely.
So he's sounding a bit agitated.
Well, they've lost a few players, and it's not always. I mean, yes, you want quality coming through the door, but you need numbers. You need strength in depth. You need some competition for places. So if Elise was to go, it gives them more money to go and do that. They've got to be shrewd. And all these clubs in the middle part of the Premier League, they're always going to lose their best players. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
So it's how well you are prepared in the recruitment area to then replace them. Brighton, great example. They sell one for a stupid amount of money. Next one comes in because they're already planning. And Palace should be doing that.
Yes, exactly.
There's no, you watch Palace last year, Elise, Eze. You can't tell me you're surprised when a bid comes in for either of those boys.
Yeah, you must have been expecting something.
Exactly.
You're right. Alex, you'll stay across it because so much going on out there. We are across a lot. Remember, West Ham, as our understanding, have said to Southampton, you have 24 hours to come back to me that 30 million will get West Ham James Ward-Prowse. Thus far, no development on that.